What's going on, beautiful people? It's your boy C-Dub, aka Whit, coming at you guys with another commentary, and this is going to be the CCC DR commentary from this past weekend, which was the 15th of December. Let's get it in. So right now you see we're just all together. We're past the first stoplight and we are making our way up. I'm rolling up on LT's wheel, and we're getting ready for this thing to go down. I hope you guys liked my brand new logo, the Road Runner, which also embodies the C-Dub in there. So right now I'm on Larry's wheel and we're going 25 miles an hour with 163 beats per minute, and I'm excited for this donut ride. It has been, as you probably saw in the previous video, about a month of me doing the donut ride. So we got Freddie up there, we got Mike up there, and then LT is on Mike's wheel, and then I believe I have Chris on my wheel if you look in the rear view camera, and I have to remind myself to look at the rear view footage. And right here we have Misael right here on the right with the Jelly Belly kick on. He's falling back right now. He's probably going to jump on the end and get some good footage. He had his helmet cam on, which I'm excited to see that footage once he uploads it to Facebook. But right now we're rolling in, again, 26 miles an hour. I'm at 167. There's John, Sugar Basin and Doza, and then Chris. It was nice meeting you, brother, with the red jersey on. And so we're just making our way up. Right now there's a little gap between me and LT. And then there is Jeffrey. He just got through pulling, so he's cycling back. And so what I do is just getting started. I went ahead and just jumped on Jeffrey's wheel because I knew that LT is not the wheel that I want to be on. And the reason why I don't want to be on LT's wheel is because he can easily pull at 32 to 34 miles an hour, strong as an ox. And so I realized that if he goes to pulling at that MPH, that I'm going to be suffering. And so then it'll be my turn to pull, which means that I'm going to be closer to bonking or even getting dropped. So I jumped off his wheel onto Jeffrey's wheel, waiting for a larger guy, which you see who I'm on now with the green. I believe this is a Cannondale, the lime green Cannondale bike. So I've rolled behind him before because those socks look very familiar. He typically wears these socks at the donut ride. So when I saw him, I said, I'm gonna jump on that wheel because he too is a strong rider and also providing me a better draft. So right now you see the beautiful sun in my rear view camera with the clouds, to include Jeffrey. And Jeffrey is yet another strong rider, and you guys will see his action later on in this video. This video is currently 21 minutes and 33 seconds long, and during this time, usually I ask you guys to subscribe if you have not already subscribed. Please set the notification button and also comment down below. And for those of you that are previewing this video and do not have a YouTube account, I ask that you would set up a YouTube account and come on and join the Whit fam. Hit that subscribe button, help your boy out. We are looking to grow, to continue to inspire others to enjoy life behind bars, or life on two wheels for some of you. So right now, Jeffrey just got through pulling. He came around me. You got Johnson and Doza, aka Sugar Bay. You got Freddie, aka Fast Freddie. And then we have my contender. I said I will no longer call him my nemesis, but my contender, which is Kuya G. And then to my left is Misael again. And we're with the Trek Madone bike, and we're just making our way. And as I've told you guys before, the barriers are here because the base to my left or westward is doing some construction on their entry control point. So they're getting prepared for the mass influx of Navy sailors working on that installation. So right now I got Chris to my left. I believe that's Chris to my left, as well as, I don't know who the guy is on my rear tire, but I know that's the guy who he usually is a strong rider who I jumped on his wheel before. So everybody's cycling through. Here comes Chris, big Chris over. He just came up, so now I'm jumping up on his wheel. And I'm staying behind, or I thought I was going to jump on his wheel, but I stayed behind John because I saw John come out the saddle. And so I was just letting him know, if you heard me talking, that it's okay. You know, you got it. You don't have to expend too much energy. And right now, passing Kuya G, he's falling back. Probably just got through pulling. And the reason why I was talking to John was because, you know, when Leo came and did the training camp, he advised us to communicate. And one of my sayings is that communication is essential to success. And so I felt it was good to let him know, you know, hey, you know, you're good, so that he didn't expend too many wattage coming out the saddle trying to jump on, that he was good, that we were moving in a good tempo, and that everything was going to work out well. So right now, we're continuing in the paceline manner, and I'm just riding John's wheel. And John has really been getting strong. Like he told me he has been doing some cross training from running and going to the gym. You know, he has that faithful membership at Planet Fitness. I believe it's like $10 a month, and probably paid a penny for day one. But I believe LT is up there. So LT has broken away because the dude is just so strong. So I'm not sure if you can see up there, but he's up ahead of us, and we're actually chasing him now. So LT has broken away from the peloton, a one-man breakaway, and we're chasing. So as you see here, John fell back, jumped on my wheel, and then cycled back through again. You got Fast Freddy on my wheel, and then you got the big guy. And I know John B, you're probably going to watch this, and you're going to let me know what this guy's name is. And correction, that's not a Cannondale. That is a Specialized S-Works bike, that lime green. So everybody's cycling through now, and they're coming up. We got Misiel that just passed me. We got Chris that just passed me. We got Perry just passed me with the neon green wind barrier rain protector suit. So now, of course, we come to a light, and the light's going to slow us down, and the light's going to hold us up. And but we caught it at the right time. Thank you, Jesus. So we were able to roll through this. But what happens is again, we were chasing LT, and I think he kept his momentum going. And so as you see everybody coming out the saddle, because we're trying to build up our tempo again. So we went from 22, now we're building it back up. We're 26 miles per hour, and doing pretty good. My wattage is just anywhere between 200 and 400. Now you see it's up a little high because again the pace is up. We're moving, and you see we've got people. We've got some gaps forming behind me, and I'm just trying to now hunker in behind Fast Freddy, because I know that he has some super legs. Like, I don't know, he's got some type of power in them legs, some supernatural power. So I realized if I can hang on his wheel, I'm gonna be all right. So you see there, even Mike has missed the wheel, but he's making his ground in the rear view camera. So there's a pretty good gap right there. And but Mike is strong. Like, he's got that old man strength, you know. And you see here, you know, we're kind of broken up a little bit. Like, and so now Freddie hunkers in, and now I'm still on Freddie's wheel. We're going 29 miles an hour. My heart rate is up 181. And, you know, we're coming up on Chris, and Freddie was going to jump on that, but Chris was kind of easy pedaling right now. He goes around him, and we're pushing up, and he's trying to close his gap with with LT and with Jeffrey. And so you see Jeffrey out the wheel. So what Jeffrey's doing right now is he's counterattacking. He actually just tried to come around LT with a sprint to get up front. So maybe he, you know, tried to counter, or maybe he's blocking to slow this pace down a little bit. But the pace is up. You know, we're going 27 miles an hour. My heart rate is, you know, I'm about almost 20 away from my max heart rate, and we're going. So there's LT just pulled off the front again, and here's Freddie up to the front, and I'm glued to Freddie's wheel. He swings that chicken wing, and I got to come around. It's my turn to pull. And so I come on up to the front, and I pull, and you know, it feels good to be able to be in the rotation. So I'm up here for a little bit, and we're working through, and then you see Michel or Alex. I'm gonna just call him Alex. He's coming up, so I'm up here pulling, and it felt like an eternity me up here pulling, you know. And this donut route was a little interesting just because everybody was, you know, trying to sit in and was watching everybody. So Alex pulls through, and he's got Kuya G on his wheel, which I was so happy to see Kuya G actually doing some work. but he has Chris on his wheel, and then he's got the the green S Works with Chris on the green X Works wheel. So brother, I'm sorry I don't know your name. I know John B will let me know. And then you have, I'm not sure who that was. Oh, that's LT. So now they're cycling through. Now John's on LT's wheel. Then there's Fast Freddy, and then I will pull over behind Jeffrey and make a way. And so you see here, I'm riding behind Alex's wheel, but I got to go. And so this is when I come up. I was going to go up, I think, get on Kuya G's wheel, and then, but I end up not jumping on Kuya G's wheel because I saw that this 3-man group right here, or 4-man group, was not closing this gap down. So I get on Kuya G's wheel for a second, and I see that gap right there. That gap is no-go because that group that just went up, they will break away. They are strong riders. They're all powerhouses. So I had to get back on the gun. So you saw I just got through pulling. This group pulled through, and then the group did not chase it down. So I'm up here. You got Kuya G, you got Chris. They're on my wheel, and I'm even breaking away from Kuya G. But the blessed thing is, yet again, another light. So because of this light, it does kill. It kills everything. It kills your momentum. It kills your motivation. But for some of us, it's actually, you know, in the curse, there's also a blessing. Some people look at this like, "Ooh, I can get a quick breather." But some of us, we're like, man, I could have caught that, you know, because I had momentum. So we all get back together again at this light, and out the gate, going hard again. So again, 23 miles an hour already, you know, so it allows some of the guys that were getting dropped off to catch up and to get back in the game, which, you know, and so Chris just got a flat. So he's pulling over, just got a flat. So I know he's upset about that, you know, but it happens to us. And so we got right here, Chris, the other Chris in the red jersey. And so the group is together again. You got Chris, Kuya G, and you got the green S Works, and they're moving. So now I'm on Mike's wheel, and there's John. And so I believe John's probably going to jump on Kuya G's on the rear camera. He's out the saddle, you know, trying to stay connected. Jumped on John's wheel. And again, I got Mike. I just came over Mike. As you will see him in the rear camera with the pink POC helmet on, and I'm up again in the front, pulling. And of course, we got this gap. You see the gap in front of me, and I'm like, oh my God, my heart rate's at 184, speed's 26 miles an hour. I'm pushing over 450 watts and trying to chase this down. And you see nobody is coming over to help. So like, I'm sitting up here working, Mike's sitting in, Kuya G's back there sitting in, Chris is sitting in. I think Chris is about to come on over and take me. You got John Sugar Bay sitting in, so Chris is coming over and Mike's coming over. So I'm like, thank you, goodness, thank you so much for coming up. Just at least me seeing them be right here, let me know that there were some people with me, because sometimes we look behind and we don't necessarily see them. So being in this position now, I'm able to cycle back and get a breather. But you see my heart rate is up. But I didn't stay back there long. I jumped on Kuya G's wheel to keep the rotation going. And hopefully, you know, you want to get a good rotation because it allows everybody to get a break. So anytime anyone sits in and doesn't pull through in the rotation, it does mess it up. You know, like in the beginning when I jumped onto Jeffrey's wheel instead of riding LT's wheel, it was a strategic move for me, but actually at the same time, it kind of throws off the rotation because somebody else has to fill that void. And so as you see right now, the group is pretty much, you know, I think it was Freddie, Jeffrey, and LT, and they had broken away. I mean, you see their Mike's in front of me, Chris is in front of me now, you got Sugar Bay in front of me now. So you see it's us 4 or 5. If you look at Kuya G behind me, Kuya G, I just now noticed, brother, you was behind me a whole lot of times in this ride, and you're gonna try to test my gangster. It's all right, brother, but I got your number, and I know where you live. so all right. So the 5 of us is working together. Kuya G's on my wheel. Chris is back there signaling guys to rotate through, and I appreciate that gesture because man, this was rough. This was hard, and so Kuya G comes up to the front, and I'm gonna fall back, and then as you see there, Mike is rotating through. So we're trying to get this thing rotating through effectively and efficiently. So Alex catches up. So Alex is now in the rear view camera, and he's out the saddle. And you'll see I fell back a little bit, but I had to close that down because gaps are not good. And we got Perry back there. Looks like he's holding on for dear life, but he's probably gonna close that gap down between him and Alex. And we're rotating through now. So again, I'm up here coming up. and Sugar Bay just got done pulling. Now he's easy spinning, and I'm up to the front again. So we're just working. You know, I'm not trying to gloat or do any bragging, but we all do our part, and that's the beautiful thing about this ride is that, you know, sometimes we come here with different ideas and different motives and different purposes and missions, but ultimately we all get it in, and that's what I love about that saying, "Get it in," is that we all may have a different motive, but at the end of the day, we all came out here and we got it in. So when I say that, it means more than just doing something. We got it in. We achieved our task. We got better. We're getting fitter. We're getting faster. We're getting stronger. So we're out here getting it in. All right, so jump off of Alex's wheel. Now we're in front of Naval Amphibious Base Coronado. And so right here now I'm on Mike's wheel, just actually to the left of his wheel, so not really drafting him, but just keeping my eyes up because the three of the guys up front, they are pretty much broken away. And I think we catch another light. I think they're at this light. Yeah. So they're at the light. So we actually are able to hook up with them again at the light. Thank God for the lights. So we were able to catch up with these three legends right here. Oh my goodness. I'm so stoked because I was able to connect and get a break at the same time. So we're here at the light and just waiting. And watch what happens when the light turns green. I should have fast forwarded this, so what I'll do is another plug. So again, if you're watching this video, if you've made it this far, this video is about 21 minutes long, and please hit the subscribe button. If you can't subscribe, start an account and please subscribe. So you see there, LT out the gate attacks again, and Chris was able to come up at the right time and jump on LT's wheel. Freddie's was out of the saddle and he jumps on Chris's wheel. So now you have another three-man breakaway. Jeffrey kind of set in. You have Alex on my wheel. You have Jeffrey. You have Sugar Bay, and this is me looking at the rear camera. So now I'm just, you know, that group, the three of them, LT, Freddie, and Chris, gone. You know, so they're up there. And so on the recent video, I had posted this or edited this into the video. But if you look at Alex's legs right now, he's really easy pedaling. And so in a sense, you could say that those are tired legs. You know, not picking fun, but we all just are tired at times. So now you look at the difference between Alex's leg and look at Mike's legs. Mike's legs are turning over, they're moving. His legs are not necessarily tired, but he just knows that he has to put a load of effort in to get back to that group who literally out of the gate attacked that light. So we're chasing again. I mean, chasing from the first light to the last light. And so there's one more light up here, and I believe Sugar Bay is going to come over the top, and I'm going to jump on his wheel. So right now I'm up pulling, and there's one more light where we actually veer off of the 75 onto what we call Silver Strand Boulevard, I believe. So as you see there in the rear camera, Johnson and Doze is coming up, Sugar Bay. We got Mike on my wheel. So John came over and he's got momentum. His legs look good. So he's going to pretty much, you know, we got to squeeze in between these cars, and he's going to get a little gap because I slow down. You know, I'm a little bit more cautious with some of my maneuvers because, you know, I do have, you know, a naval career. I do have a family, and I do want to make it home after this ride. So John is actually going up to draft that car, which I should have gave an effort to jump on that, but I didn't. I just kind of held my territory. So he has a little gap on me. I try to close it down, and you see a flashing light up there. So I think that's the group, I think that's the group that we're coming up on. So John is able to bridge over, catch that group, and you see I'm at 181 heart rate. I'm almost out there. So we're still going 26 miles an hour, but I'm pretty much, so you see it's broken up. So John is out by himself. I'm by myself. You got Mike. He's coming up in the rear camera now. You got Jeffrey on his wheel. So you see the guys coming up. You got Alex coming up as well. So we're all kind of spread out, a little pace lined, but we're spread out. And because we're hurting, you know, people, we're human beings and we start hurting. You know, yeah, we're beasts, but man, we start hurting. So Mike came over top because I was not able to latch back on to Sugar Bay's wheel. And so I was so thankful that Mike came over top and was able to jump on his wheel. And again, strong legs. So he starts to like start and stop pedaling. You see Chris right here pulling back. Probably got wore out by LT and Freddie because those two dudes. My goal, and I'll put it out there, my goal is to hang on with those two guys and then see if I have anything left in the tank. But right now, Mike is pulling, and he told me, he's like, man, I feel like I was pulling forever. We went to the CCC, the Crown City cycling Christmas party. And he was like, bro, I feel like I was pulling forever. But so you see I came underneath him here. There's Kuya G in the back. Again, so I'm up pulling actually right now. So I'm up in front of everybody again. And you got Sugar Bay right up there. You see him still moving. And so everybody falls back. And Kuya G is on my wheel. This dude rode my wheel for most of this race. And then Jeffrey says, bye, Felicia. So as I told you before, dude is strong. So he literally comes out the saddle, sprints, and is about to pass John up there. So now you got Kuya G in my rear camera on my tire trying to contest my gangster. So he tries to come up on me. One time I get him out the saddle sprint. He comes up on me again right now. I come out the saddle in a sprint again. And you see I'm hitting over 800 watts. And he's trying me. There he is again in the rear camera. He's still going. And so again, what do? I come out the saddle again. And in these efforts, we're catching Johnson and Doza, aka Sugar Bay. So with that being said, I'm cruising now to the finish line. Over this speed bump, there's a finish line. So I just beat Kuya G, my used to be nemesis, now my contender. Thank you for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe. On to the next one with your boy C-Dub, aka Whit. Peace.